Okay, today we're going to try to make garbanzo baked beans. I'm using the garbanzo beans because I didn't have any kidney beans. So hopefully this will work. I made my own sauce for it. And you'll see in front of you here, the garbanzo beans have been washed and peeled. I like them without the skin on them, but that's not necessary. I cut up a few onions. And here is the sauce made with all the ingredients. I'll read off the ingredients real quick for you so you know what they are, until I learn how to do that myself on YouTube. That's basically a cup of an ounce of barbecue sauce, an ounce of ketchup, a tablespoon of brown sugar, a half tablespoon of molasses, a half a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, just a pinch of cumin, a half a teaspoon of chili powder, and that's what that's mixed up. I just mixed it around with a whisk, and now it's just sitting there at room temperature. All right, so we're going to move over to the Ninja Foodi, and that's where we're headed now. And basically, I'm having this already starting to preheat. I have the Ninja set up on saute at medium. You should be able to see that. And once the butter is melted, which should take just a minute or two. Stop. On saute, I have it set up for medium temperature, and I'm just throwing in some sliced onions. All right, once the onions are in, I'm going to saute them around for about 4 minutes until they get kind of tender. Okay, so the onions have been sauteing for about 4 or 5 minutes, and they've gotten nice and soft. And now I'm going to throw in the mixture we talked about at the beginning of the video. I'm putting that in now. That'll be the baked bean sauce. So I'm getting that in there. Okay, and now I'm going to stir it all up. And you want to get it pretty hot, basically almost to a boil. Excuse me. I think that's good enough. And now I'm going to throw in the garbanzo beans that I had talked about. Okay, they're in there now. I'm going to stir them up. And I'm going to lower the, well, it's already at medium. That should be good enough. I'm going to keep them there and let them simmer once it comes back up to temperature. Okay, so the beans are about done now. It pretty much comes down to the texture that you like. The garbanzo beans take a little bit longer to cook, so you're pretty much going to have to check it out periodically to see what the texture is like. But as you can see, it kind of looks like baked beans, so I think we're okay there. So I'm just going to smooth this out a little bit, and then I'm going to take off the saute function, and then I'm going to move on to the hot dogs. Now this is experimental on my part, so I'm going to see how this works out. I'm taking this now, this is the trivet, and I'm putting it directly on top of the beans there, as you'll see. And now I'm going to come over to here, and you'll see that I'm going to take these hot dogs, which are still frozen, and I'm going to put very small score marks. Now I'm not cutting deeply at all, just making a little space for the steam to escape. Okay, putting 3 or 4 score marks on the hot dogs. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, now I'm going to take those hot dogs, and you'll have to excuse my hands, because I'm too lazy to get tongs. I'm going to place them now on the parchment paper, which I put down solely for purposes of ease of cleaning. Okay, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to start the air frying process for the moment. So I'm going to close the lid. Okay, so I'm going to hit the air fryer button down here at the bottom. And I don't know why it's giving me trouble. So it's probably telling me I should shut the lid. So I'm shutting the lid. I'm going to go to around 390, 400. That's your call. I'm going to come over here to the time sign, and I'm just going to put it down for 10 minutes, though I doubt you'll need that kind of time. And then I'm going to hit start. And we'll wait a few minutes. Okay, so I've been cooking now for about 6 minutes. Again, the time is a matter of personal preference. Depending on how frozen they were, whether they were frozen, and how you like your hot dogs. So you've got to keep an eye on them. So I'm opening the air fryer now. You can take a look and see where the dogs are at this point, and you can see that they're moving along very nicely, and they'll get more cooked than that. I've stopped it at this point because now I'm going to take this little ramekin here, which I put in sauerkraut, and I'm going to put that directly onto the trivet, and continue the process. Okay, so we're going to let that cook a little bit, and we're going to see what happens. I'm going to imagine we're going to have to keep a close eye on the sauerkraut because we don't want to really burn it. A little color wouldn't hurt, but hopefully it'll cook through. Okay, I'm going to open up the air fryer now. If you take a look at the hot dogs, you see they're just about done. So at this point, I have no idea what's going on with the sauerkraut. Hopefully that'll work. I'm going to take the hot dogs, I'm going to put them directly into a bun. Okay, now there's 3 hot dogs, but I'm only going to cook 2 buns. The other hot dog is in case I get hungry at midnight. Okay, now I'm going to take the buns and somehow squeeze it back in here. Okay, as you can see, hopefully, we're recording all this. And now I'm going to take a piece of cheese and put it right across each hot dog. It's actually just a half piece of American cheese, if I can get it off of here. Can't. So we'll do the best we can. Alrighty. Alright, we're going to close the lid now and basically just continue to cook it until the cheese is satisfactory. Okay, I'm going to say that these are probably done. We're going to open up the lid, take a look-see. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the hot dogs out. And I don't know where my wife has put the plates. Okay. Sorry for that technical difficulty. And let's see if I can safely take these out somehow without dropping them. Okay, there's one. And here is 2. So that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to take the ramekin with the sauerkraut out. And hopefully that's done. Okay, so now that I've removed that, I'm going to take out the rack. All right, and now I'm going to take a spoon here. Don't forget, don't use a metal spoon. All right, and I'm going to plate all these beans after I close off the Ninja. No reason to have it heating any longer. Beans look pretty good, so I'm going to just put them on a plate, and then we'll basically be done. So I hope this was of some help to you, and I may make some modifications to the recipe for the beans, that is, anyway. Probably as you cook them, you should check them. If they're getting too dry, all right, you can always add equal proportions of ketchup and barbecue sauce, and even for that matter, a little water. That's not going to hurt matters either. Again, baked beans come down to personal taste preference. So, and I'm not sure what we've been filming the last 30 seconds, but I think we're done. So, bon appetit, and I hope you enjoy it.